5-6, final check. Here we go. Good Monday evening to you. Glad to have you along here. Jordan King with you, WLA-TV. The always free WLA-TV, might I add, here on a Monday evening. Glad to have you along. I only say that because I'd like to follow along with the WLA girls basketball score, but I don't have the $11 per month NFHS subscription to be able to follow along with their endeavors up, taking on the Seymour Lightning, I believe, something like that, up in Seymour, Wisconsin. A game that I think the Vikings will expect to go up and hopefully handle business. But that's up there. This is here. The Oakfield Oaks come into this evening's contest against the host Vikings in a non-conference matchup. And Oakfield, so far this season, is 11-3 on the season. All three losses for Oakfield coming in conference play, but not really too shabby when you look at what comprises the top part of that Trailways East Conference that Oakfield plays in. One of the top teams in the state in Division 5, Central Wisconsin Christian, currently leads that league. Second and third, respectively, Wayland Academy and Lourdes Academy, both who over the last couple of years have been ranked at various times in Division 5. So no slouches to be the fourth team in that Trailways East Conference. I think Coach Nell, just talking to him a little bit last week and earlier this weekend, knows that this is going to be a good non-conference test for the Vikings, and one if they don't come to play, they're going to find themselves in trouble. Oakfield started off the season 1-3. Losses to Lourdes, Wayland, and CWC, with a win against Dodgeland sprinkled in there. Since then, the Oaks have rattled off 10 straight victories, including a couple of Flyway Conference foes as well in there. They have 3 common opponents to WLA, wins over Valley Christian, North Fond du Lac, and Lamira. All 3 teams that the Vikings beat as well. In fact, the Vikings last time out coming off an 85-80 win over Lamira. That was last Thursday. Sam Lair scored 35 points in that one. And moving over to the Vikings, Lair leads the Vikings with a 19.4 points per game mark. Noah Gensler second with just about 17 points per game. Noah Waltz is sitting at 12, and Gannon Schwartz just slipped under 10 points per game. He was over 10 for a couple of games, had a big game against North Fond du Lac, and then he struggled the last couple of times out for the Vikings. The Vikings have won 3 of their last 4. Big win over Campbellsport. They beat the Cougars by 18 points, a team that expects to be part of the Flyway Conference Challenge at the end of the day. And then the big win over North Fond du Lac, a very good Kiel team, came in and pretty much controlled things the whole night against the Vikings in an 80-64 win. And then, as I mentioned, an 85-80 win over Lamira earlier last week with the Thursday night game at Lamira. Oakfield's game against Lamira was 40-30. Not a whole lot of offense being played in that game. Sloppy, as I talked to Coach Brandon Curtis, the JV2 coach for the Oaks, and he just mentioned very sloppy game. Neither team got into a great rhythm. Obviously, you'd like to credit the defenses a little bit in an outing like that as well. But I would expect tonight to be a little bit closer to the Vikings' season average, although Oakfield does play some stingy defense. They're 11-3, and they only average 53 points per game. So it's going to be kind of the battle of wills, as traditionally you get in some of these games. The Vikings average 72. Oakfield averages 53. And which team is able to control the pace and control what kind of game gets played here tonight, I think that's going to go a long way into figuring out who wins it. Let's look at an individual level for the Oaks, as we're about 5 minutes till anthem and starters. Davis Dirks is the leader, 13.2 points per game. Luke Bile is second at 10.6 points per game. Bailey Shep, 8.9 points per game, and rounding out their top 4 in really what is a big, a top 4 for them in terms of production offensively, Mitchell Moser. So those the leaders for the Oakfield Oaks. Luke Bile, also a bit of a menace on the glass, 6.2 boards per game. Davis Dirks, 5.8 per game. When you look over at the Vikings on the glass, this is maybe a place where maybe the Vikings say, look, we play more possessions than Oakfield does generally over the course of a game, get more opportunities for rebounds. But I do wonder if the Vikings might fancy this to be a place of potential advantage tonight, with Chop Simmons averaging 9.5 boards per game, Noah Gensler with 6.5 boards per game. That's more than anyone else on the floor from either team. So it'll be interesting to see. Maybe the Vikings will feel that they have a little bit of an advantage on the glass. Who knows? So the 11-3 Oaks against the 5-9 Vikings coming up next on WLA TV. 3 minutes, and we'll have starters and anthem. Hope you'll stay with us. It's boys basketball, non-conference action, WLA TV. Stay with us.
Winnebago Lutheran Academy welcomes you to this evening's non-conference basketball game between the Oakfield Oaks and the Vikings of Winnebago Lutheran Academy. Winnebago Lutheran Academy, Oakfield High School, and the WIAA require good sportsmanship at education-based sporting events. Attendance at interscholastic activities is a privilege with the expectation to exhibit positive and respectful behavior. For the enjoyment and respect of all in attendance, your cooperation in demonstrating the high ideals of sportsmanship is expected and greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please stand Remove your hats and join us in honoring America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem. It's time to meet the starting lineups for this evening's game. First, for the Oaks, a sophomore, number 2, Mitchell Moser. A junior, number 4, Bailey Shep. A sophomore, number 12, Davis Dirks. A senior, number 13, Luke File. And a senior, number 23, Lucas Meredith. The Oaks are coached by Jason Gate Killeen.
There you go, the starters for the Oaks. We will relay those to you once again for Oakfield. Number 2, Mitchell Moser is one of 2 sophomores to be in the starting lineup, along with Davis Dirks. Bailey Shep is the lone junior in the starting lineup, and then Luke Bile and Lucas Meredith are the 2 seniors that are in the starting lineup for the Oaks. Vikings will remain unchanged from what has become their usual starting lineup the last probably month or so. Gannon Schwartz, Noah Gensler, Sam Lair, Chop Simmons, and Noah Walta. 2 Schwartz, 4 Gensler, 12 Lair, 20 Simmons, 32 Walta. For Oakfield, 2 Moser, 4 Shep, 12 Dirks, 13 Bile, 23 Meredith. Oaks coached by Jason Killeen, and the Vikings coached by Marty Nell. Tonight is Junior Vikes night. That's why you heard probably the loudest you will ever hear a cheer for the mascot before the game, and the young, boisterous, loud Viking fans are the Junior Vikes. That's tapped out. I think it was tapped by Gensler. Yeah, it was. So it's going to go to Oakfield, and they'll should have the arrow then go back to the Vikings for the first held ball. At least let's hope so. Never a doubt with trusty Mr. Herwig down there. You'd never, ever assume him to make a mistake. There's no doubt about that. Moser's going to get things going here for the Oaks. Here's a corner 3 on the way. Looks good, and it's good for Shep. So a good start for Oakfield. Get the ball to the high post, and turning and finding Shep was Lucas Meredith. Gannon Schwartz quickly down the other end, and there's a floater for Gannon to go. And for Gannon Schwartz, the freshman for the Vikings, after really getting comfortable and looking like he was hitting his stride, shot by his lofty standards, I would say poorly from the field. Here's a nice drive. And a moving screen, I believe. Foul on number 4, Shep. Shep picks up his first foul after hitting the 3 on the first possession. But as efficient as Gannon Schwartz was in that stretch where, again, I thought he looked comfortable. Here's a 3 from him from the right corner, a little bit strong there. Rebound on the far side. Chop Simmons up with the rebound, and Chop's got the putbacks. Strong move underneath for Chop. Vikes have their first lead of the ball game. We'll get back to Gannon Schwartz and his transformation throughout the night. Schwartz goes over a screen, leaves an open three in the corner. Moser couldn't hit it, and Simmons was able to corral the rebound. Here's Gannon once again into the front court, down to Noah Walta in the corner. Walta drives, big jump stop in the middle of the paint, and shovels to Chop Simmons. Chop's going to go at Moser. Check that. That's Meredith underneath. And smart play by Meredith. Kind of pulled the chair, so to speak, on Simmons. Almost turned it over. Last off of an Oak, though. Bounce pass is dangerous from Sam Lair, and an early turnover here. Good defensive possession that time from the Oaks. The steal from Luke Bile. He shovels to Moser, and Moser will get this offensive possession started between the circles. Looks far side. This is Dirks, leading scorer, one of the sophomores. Back out top of the key, Shep. Shep has the only point so far for Oakfield. The big three he hit from the corner on the first possession. Nice drive this time. Dirks can't get it to go, and the rebound down to Gensler. Outlet pass to Walta. Walta crosses over once. Battles through the contact. Nothing doing there. It was good hands, I believe, from Shep. Maybe Meredith. Meredith long two here, and it's good. Kind of from the short corner, so to speak, for Lucas Meredith. His first points of the night. It's 5-4. So Gannon Schwartz back to the middle of the paint. More contact. Letting that hip check and the arm check go. That's all right here early on. Chop Simmons looks back out. Three ball on the way for Sam Lair. And Chop's got another offensive rebound. He gets hammered inside, no whistle. Moser can't control it there. Chop brought it down, and Moser kind of raked across his arms. Very physical game here so far, but not anything out of the ordinary. I'm okay with no call there. Here's Gannon Schwartz. 5-4. Schwartz kicks it back out to Gensler. Noah's been much better about letting the game come to him. Might have gotten away with the travel there, and he tapped it out of bounds. Check that, going to stay with the Vikings. They're going to say Bile touched it last. So underneath inbounds for the Vikings, 15:21 to play first half. Nice cut by Noah Walta. Found by Sam Lair, and the Vikings have their second lead of the night, 6-5. Here goes Moser over a screen. Down the lane he goes. Upside, high, soft off the glass. Check that. That was Shep, and Shep finished at the rim. He's got 5. That was a beautiful take by the guard from Oakfield. No good for Gannon Schwartz. Reek side tapped around by Chop Simmons, and Biles able to collect it. Good strong rebound that time for the Oaks from their leading rebounder, Luke Bile. This is Moser. Looks to the far side. Shep, who looks into Bile, instead triggers up a three that rattles around. No good. Chop Simmons got about his 4th or 5th rebound here early on today. Clears it for the Vikings. Up ahead to the corner. Walta almost banked that in. Oh, and it just hit the padding of the backboard. Simmons is going to get the offensive rebound. That's just unfortunate. Lucas Meredith in perfect position. Hit that padding on the bottom of the backboard, took it out of his hands, straight to Chop, and Chop finished. Far side, this is Dirks, still looking for his first points of the night, as is Luke Bile. Bile dribbles to the short corner, gets it out to Meredith, back to Bile. He's guarded by Gensler. Moser, good ball movement to Dirks. Dirks is guarded by Noah Walta, and Meredith doesn't look like shooting the three at all. Here's Moser, curls around a screen, gets away from Gannon Schwartz. Couple of ball fakes and hits the soft jumper. That's a nice play by Mitchell Moser. The composure of a veteran from the sophomore to just take his time with a couple of ball fakes, get himself free, and Oakfield leads it once again. Back and forth we go. Have not been tied since 0-0, and we've gone back and forth. Sam Lair comes up short on that one, and a rebound down with Bile once again to clear for the possession for the Vikings. I would say so far this pace maybe favors the Vikings just a touch. They're a little more used to scoring up a little higher point totals. Gannon Schwartz doubles down and able to tie up Dirks. And it's going to go back over to the Vikings. Nice hands that time from Gannon Schwartz to help down and double the leading scorer of the Oaks, turn things back over. And Gannon will bring things and initiate the offense for the Vikings. Kick it out, top of the key. Lair, shot fake there. Down with the right hand and can't get it to go. Good defensive possession. That time it was Shep who drew the assignment on Sam Lair. Moser quickly down the lane. Up with the left hand. Can't get it to go. Good defense by Chop Simmons to just force Moser a little bit off balance, and he missed the shot. So Schwartz is into the front court, initiates once again. Right wing three on the way from Noah Gensler. Looked good, but it was off to the left. And Bile was just close enough to get a hand in the face of Noah Gensler and affect that shot. 9-8 we stay for the biggest scoring drought all night for both teams, as we've been stuck on this score for a couple of minutes. Bile has it high post, hands off there to Derricks, and Derricks is guarded by Cole Wiedmeyer, who came into the game for Noah Walta. Derricks with the shot, can't get it to go. Rebound strongly with Chop Simmons. Everything Chop does is strong and intelligent, and that was Cole Wiedmeyer to the hoop, and he left it short. Cole Wiedmeyer has such a knack getting to the hoop, going baseline. It's incredible. It's fun to watch. And trying to fight through the screens with Gannon Schwartz, not close enough. Moser drilled the three. It was a double screen there, and got enough of a not big enough piece of Gannon Schwartz to be able to hit that three. Down the lane goes Schwartz. He finished, count the basket, plus the foul. Strong move from Gannon Schwartz, and it's 12-10. Chance for a three-point play for Gannon Schwartz. Vikes have yet to hit a three tonight. They certainly hit their fair share of triples each game. But tonight, kind of in rare territory where they find themselves down and losing the three-point battle. 2 threes so far for Oakfield, none for the Vikings, and Schwartz can't complete the three-point play despite shooting about 78% from the free throw line. Here's another three. Moser's got back-to-back triples, and the lead is up to 5. Schwartz is going over those double screens, trying his best to be able to deny, and there's Gensler, his first three of the night, his first points of the night, and the first triple for the Vikings cuts it back down to a 2-point game, 15-13, 11:21 to play first half, and this is Shep. Shep working on Sam Lair and gets it back to the hot hand of the last couple of minutes. Moser has got 8. Far side, that's Dirks. Dirks drives, middle of the paint, goes up, and he's fouled. Fouled that time by Cole Wiedmeyer, who thought he was straight up, but I don't think he was. Oh, they're going to call that on Gensler. Wasn't even close to the play. You got to get the right number if you're going to call the foul. And it was on Cole Wiedmeyer. Instead, they get Gensler. Gensler wasn't even close to the play. And they corrected it up on the board. So Cole Wiedmeyer did get the foul. Good job to go back and get that taken care of. First free throw was good. Second free throw comes up just short. And the rebound down to Chop Simmons. First point, check that, of the night for Davis Dirks. And nice hustle from Bile. Can't come up with it. And the possession is saved for now. Andy Simon has it on the floor. Gets it to Sam Lair. Check that. Another three for Gensler? No. Comes up a little bit strong on that one. Offensive rebound and finishing. Put back for Andy Simon. And we're back to a 1-point game. Back and forth these two teams go. Battling each other. Both finding it relatively easy to come offensively. The Vikings, though, are having some success on the glass. This one misses from Moser. Oh, what a strong rebound. Just stabbing it out of the air was Chop Simmons. Schwartz went to the bench when Simon came on, so Sam Lair will run point guard for the Vikings now. And Gensler dribbled it off his own foot. Oh, they gave the Vikings a timeout. Wasn't so sure that Gensler had possession. They'll say he did. 30-second timeout, and we're going to take it with them. Catch our breath here early on. A frantic pace between the Oaks and the Vikes. Stay with us. 10 minutes and 8 seconds left here in this first half. And up until that timeout, really not many stoppages so far. We've only seen 3 free throws shot and only 3 team fouls thus far in what has been a very pleasant game to watch. Here's Andy Simon. Has it poked away. Good hands by Moser. And it was deflected, so it's into the backcourt for the Vikings. Simon gives it to Lair. Sam crosses once, now between the legs. Kicks it top of the key, Cole Wiedmeyer. Couple of ball fakes from Cole. Gensler to Lair. Lair crosses down the right side of the paint. And a nice play defensively into the game was Cale Sobel, and he got his hand on that to force the miss. Sam Lair able to steal it. Up ahead to Gensler, and the Vikings have the lead once again. Noah Gensler's got 5. He now leads the Vikings with those 5 points, and it's a 1-point Viking lead. 17-16, good hustle by Sam Lair. After I think he probably thought he was fouled. It was clean. Good defensive possession from the Oaks, and good hustle by Lair to make it right on the other end of the floor. Here's Sobel. Back to Moser. Moser pulls up Bile to screen for him. Uses the screen. Shot fake there. This is Bass who's into the game, and that one's stolen. Couple of turnovers in a row for the Oaks. Couple of steals for the Vikes. That was Gensler with the steal. Down the lane goes Simon. Offensive foul as Andy Simon pushed off there, going back the other way. Max Huntsman into the game for the first time here tonight, as Chop Simmons, who has just been a beast tonight, will take a seat. 17-16. And Shep, will initiate the offense, go to Moser far side. Moser using a screen from Bass. Around the screen he goes, gets to the free throw line. Bass with a shot fake and ends up with Moser between the circles. He surveys, finds Shep. Vikings switch it. Out to Bile. A little bit of a mismatch here. He's got size advantage on Sam Lair. Vikes switch back. Down the lane goes Shep. And nice defense by Noah Gensler. Went straight up and down. Shep went into him, no whistle. And coming back the other way. Gensler lost it. Good hands from Bile. Oh, and Bile just slipped. Otherwise, he'd have had an easy bucket at the other end. Good hands. Luke Bile helps down so well. And speaking of hands, Max Huntsman wasn't ready for that one. Bile gets the steal. Good look, good pass from Wiedmeyer. But right through the hands of Max Huntsman. And there's going to be a second foul here on Andy Simon as the Vikes pick up their 3rd team foul. I would guess Simon will go to the bench now with the 2 first-half fouls. Gannon Schwartz and Noah Walta checking back in for the Vikings. And back in for the Oaks, Dirks and Meredith return. 8 minutes to go in the first half between these 2 area non-conference schools. I'll tell you what, I said this when the Oaks and the Vikings played on the girls' side of things. I think this is kind of like one of those natural area rivalries, like maybe a Waupun or something like that. That's a non-conference rivalry, but it still feels like these 2 teams can build a rivalry, right? Here's Gannon Schwartz, who gets the steal in the backcourt. Looks down to Simon. 3 ball on the way. Sam Lair can't hit it. Good block out on the far side. Dirks gets the defensive rebound and did a good job to box out Max Huntsman, giving up several inches. Dirks leans on Walta to get himself free through the paint, and a kick on one of the Vikings, so it stays with Oakfield. Tell you what, it's getting physical in there, and this is kind of the flip side of when you let a lot of that grabbing and clutching go on, and those hip checks when you're going through the lane. Sometimes it can get out of control, and I think that's maybe just the question there that Coach Colleen on the far side was maybe just about asking there. Here's Bass, bounce pass down underneath to Dirks. Dirks hasn't really got going here tonight for all intents and purposes. Gives it to Meredith. Far side, that is Sobel. And Moser's pass is picked off. Into the passing lane was Walta, and Walta is fouled. They're going to say he was going up for a shot as well, so Noah Walta goes to the free throw line. And the foul on Moser. First foul on him, Mitchell Moser. So the only player on the floor with 2 fouls is Andy Simon by my count. A couple of players for the Oaks and just one player for the Vikings with 1. Walt Wiedmeyer with the foul. Walta misses the front end. The Vikings shoot extremely well from the free throw line, and perhaps I gave him the old traditional announcer's curse by saying that a couple of times over the last several games as they started tonight here 0 for 3. Generally speaking, they do not leave points at the charity stripe. It's exactly what that is for the Vikings. Been stuck on 17-16 for a couple of minutes, and Shep and company will try to end that on this possession. Looks to Sobel. Sobel cues up a three. That one misses. Rebound on the near side with Andy Simon. Outlet pass to Gannon Schwartz. Schwartz down the lane. Kicks it out. Three ball on the way. This comes up a little bit long from Noah Walta. I think the Oak fans want some foul calls, but, I mean, you can't really argue. It's gone both ways so far here tonight, but getting a little rambunctious on the far side. Maybe rightfully so. They're letting a lot of contact go down inside. Here's Dirks. Dirks shovels it to Meredith. Meredith turns. Back to Dirks. Almost stolen by Walta. Was it last off Dirks? It was. And Noah Walta into a passing lane again. And Coach Colleen wants a timeout. He's going to take it. Full timeout on the floor as the Vikings will have a possession coming out of this timeout to build on a 17-16 lead. The Vikings' biggest lead here tonight is what it is right now, just 1 point. Every time they've pushed it back to one, Oakfield has a response, and this is a chance here for the Vikings maybe to build that, push that out, get some cushion between the Oaks and themselves. We'll see what happens when we come back. Timeout on the floor, 17-16, Vikes lead. Coming out of this timeout, Vikings lead at 17-16. One familiar name on this, Luke Bile. If my memory serves me correctly, and maybe I'm just going to make a fool out of myself here, who knows. One of the all-conference soccer players for what was a very good North Fond du Lac Oakfield Springs United soccer team this year, finished third in the Flyway Conference. And Bile was an all-conference designee, I believe. Down the lane goes Noah Walta. He was a first-team all-conference, was Noah Walta in soccer, and he traveled there. So the Vikings not able to build on that lead, and you can kind of see why. I mean, Luke Bile so far for the Oaks, steady. Just a steady leader for this team that has a couple of sophomores that play big minutes for them in Mitchell Moser and Davis Dirks. Here's Meredith. Looks to the far near side. Three ball on the way for Shep, and he can't get it to go. And a strong rebound from Noah Walta. He'll head up the left side of the floor into the front court and find Gannon Schwartz, who puts the ball on his hip and reinitiates the offense. 5:22 to go here in the first half, and just like that, the scoring is ground to a halt. Hey, Noah Gensler turns that around, just dribbled himself into a rhythm triple, and it's a 4-point lead. I was just going to say, it's starting to get to a point where maybe the Oaks are more comfortable playing a game that's going to finish out maybe in the 50s or the low 60s. Instead, Gensler had different ideas. Down the lane goes Dirks, and Dirks finishes through the contact. He's got three. The Vikes have done a nice job defensively against Davis Dirks. But he gets his first field goal of the night. Here goes Gannon Schwartz. Stops, pops, comes up short. If Gannon can start hitting those, add that to his game, oh my goodness. He can get to the rim at just about at will. Not really comfortable shooting the three yet, but we know that's part of his repertoire as Dirks steps out of bounds, heading back the other way. Moser back in. But if Gannon can really become efficient with that jump stop and hit that mid-range jumper, he becomes very difficult to try to defend. It's tapped around after Gensler missed his floater and ends up with Shep. And Shep's into the front court with the left-hand dribble. Couple of crosses, looks to Moser. Moser with the shot fake. Being guarded by a much bigger now Noah Gensler. That pass was almost out of bounds, and the Vikes want to run. Here's a nice pass from Gannon Schwartz up ahead. Finds Walta, who ran the floor well. Walta's got 4, and the lead is 4. 3:45 to go in the first half, and a nice transition offensive attack that time from the Vikings. And the Vikes able to re-switch on that far side. There was a big matchup mismatch with Gannon Schwartz being matched up. Now Schwartz is into a passing lane. He gets the steal, throws it to Walta again, and Noah Walta is fouled. It was a good foul to take, but probably not from Moser. I think that's who picked it up was Moser, and that'll be his second if I am correct. Yeah, number 2 on Mitchell Moser. Just the 4th team foul of the half for Oakfield. And this time the first is good for Noah Walta. Missed both of them the last trip, excuse me. Sam Lair back into the game for the Vikings, who are building on what is currently their biggest lead of the night. 2 for 2 that time, so 2 for 4 on the night for Noah Walta. He's got 6 points, and the Vikings lead is 6. This is Shep. Throws it down to Meredith. Meredith looks inside to Bile. Miscommunication there. Bile was checking to the high post, and the bounce pass from Meredith was thrown down to the low post. Here goes Schwartz up with the floater. You bet. Gannon Schwartz has 6. Nice start for the Vikings here, and a nice little spurt here over the last 3 minutes or so. The Vikings, by my count, are on a 9-2 run for the Vikings in the last couple of minutes. Nice defense by Chop Simmons, and the rebound is tipped around by Sam Lair. Schwartz has it into the front court, finds Walta. Noah Walta finishes. Walta's got 8. And another timeout for Coach Colleen. It's a 30-second timeout, but the Vikings have built up an 11-2 run over the last probably 2 minutes and 50 seconds or so, right thereabouts. And they lead it by 10. When the Vikings, and you can just see it, you can kind of see it when these two teams are able to get going how they want to get going, right? When the Vikings get a steal, when they get a long rebound, they want to turn, they want to run. They want to get this game up and down the floor. Meanwhile, Oakfield a little bit more content to maybe just hold on, be deliberate, set things up. Neither way is right, neither way is wrong. Just whether or not you can impose that will on the opponent, I think, is probably the most important thing. Vikes with the 10-point lead. High post, this is Meredith. Instead of handing it off to Bile, looks down to the corner to Shep. Shep around a screen. Top of the key, this is Bass. Bass to Meredith. Going to use a Bass screen now, will Meredith. Bounce pass down to Bass, trying to use his size in a nice defensive possession once again from Gannon Schwartz. That time after with a big size disadvantage for Gannon. Into the middle of the paint goes Sam Lair. Kicks it out. Schwartz back to Lair. Shot fake there. One dribble. Oh, no, Gensler. That's a heat check, and he hit it. Noah Gensler with a hand in his face from about 25 feet. Well, okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but he hit it nonetheless. 13-point lead for the Vikings. And down the lane goes Bile. Collected in the corner by Shep. And he'll go back between the circles to reinitiate an offense. This is Bass. Bile. High-low. Stolen by Simmons. Vikes want to run. You can kind of hear on the far side they're saying go. They don't even care if there's Oaks back there. Schwartz down the lane. He was hitting the head. And he'll go to the free throw line. Gannon tried to switch hands underneath and finish at the rim. And just a tap on the head there. I couldn't see what the number was. It was Dirks. That's his first foul, 5th team foul. And Gannon's second trip to the line. The first was an and one opportunity. I'll tell you what, I wish I could shoot a basketball and get it to land as softly on the rim as Gannon Schwartz does. Very impressive. just hits that front end and just nestles down into the rim. Second free throw is good as well. He's got 8. 8 for him, 8 for Noah Walta, and 11 for Noah Gensler. The 3 scorers so far for the Vikings. Sam Lair has yet to score, their leading scorer, and the Vikes have built up a 15-point lead. Now a 13-point lead as Lucas Meredith has his second bucket of the night to stop what I guess when everything was all said and done was a 17-2 run. And Sam Lair is going to pick up an offensive foul with the arm outstretched. Whistle it on Sam. 56 seconds left in the first half. Yeah, 17-2 run if my math served me correctly there. Something like that. Shep's into the front court, and the Oaks could use a strong final minute here, maybe a bucket or two. Try to just keep cutting into this lead and make halftime not seem like such a big second half task for them. This is Meredith, already used the dribble. Oh, they're going to say that was tipped out of his hand, so he could still dribble the basketball. Near side, Shep looks for Dirks. Dirks has been frustrated by the Viking defense here tonight. This is a nice jump shot from Lucas Meredith. And 20 seconds left. My guess is the Vikings will hold for the final possession. The lead is 11. At its most was 15. 4-0 run in response for Oakfield to make the 11-point contest. Here's Sam Lair wide open, left wing, book it. Can't leave Sam Lair that open on the left wing. He hit the 3, Biles into the front court, launches left wing, comes up short. Viking lead at halftime, 36-22, a 14-point lead for the Vikings as they turned it on down the stretch there in that first half, and a comfortable lead heading into the intermission. 36-22, led by Noah Gensler with 11 in that first half. Meanwhile, for Oakfield, 8 was the leading, the top mark for Mitchell Moser. He was the leading Oak here at the break. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, we'll give you the rest of the halftime stats here for the Vikings and the Oakfield Oaks. And we'll have the second half in about 10 minutes. Hope you'll stay with us. It's a good one between the Oaks and the Vikings on WLA-TV. And we will have the put the PA up here, send it over to Mr. Mookie on the PA. It is Junior
program began 27 years ago and gives a unique opportunity to many of our future Vikings and their families to create lifelong Christian friendships while developing their basketball skills on the court. Each team travels throughout the state of Wisconsin competing in higher level tournaments through the basketball season. This year we have over 80 boys from many different WLA Association grade schools involved in our program. Let's meet our hardworking future Vikings. We're going to start with the third grade team, coached by Randy Yankee. Then we have the fourth grade team, coached by Brian Benke and Terry Schrader. The fifth grade team, coached by Jason Keifenheim and Ken Nelson. The sixth grade team, coached by Todd Wickert, Ben Woodson, and Randy Yankee. The seventh grade team, coached by Eric Henry and Tyler Duplo. And the 8th grade team, coached by Nate Lamont, Dan Yonke, Scott Schwalbe, Kevin Elke, and John LeBlanc. Good luck in your season this year, Junior Vikings.
Certainly good to recognize the Junior Vikes and the teams. Obviously, a blessing to have a third, fourth, fifth, every age level from third to eighth is a big deal, and it's all part of a healthy program. And I think between Coach Nell, Coach Supernan over on the girls' side, who's up in Seymour tonight. I'm going to see if I can find a way to get us an update, see if I can find a score anywhere on the internet, or shoot some texts around and see if I can't find an update for the girls' score and pass that along to you if you too do not have an NFHS $11 a month subscription and instead like to watch the free live streams we provide you on WLA TV. Last time I'll say that, I promise. But we'll see if we can get that. But I know Coach Supernand is a huge part of the whole Junior Vikes program, boys and girls, really spearheads a lot of the things with the development of that, which is very exciting. But just heard probably about 15 to 18 coaches there that help make that go, and a big tip of the cap to them for what they do for Winnebago Lutheran Academy boys basketball. And I'm sure they'll have Junior Viking night at some point on the girls' side, too. 36-22 here. The Vikings lead it. And we'll give you some halftime stats for the players that have scored. For Oakfield, just 4 players on the score sheet so far. Leading scorer Davis Dirks with only 3 in that first half, held down by some stingy WLA defense. Bailey Shep hit an early 3, then struggled from then on. He had 5. 6 points for Lucas Meredith in the first, and Mitchell Moser had 8. Luke Bile was held scoreless there in that first half. For the Vikings, Andy Simon had 2. I thought we were going to be saying the same thing for the Vikings leading scorer, that he was held scoreless at halftime, but right there, that last possession in the first half, Gannon Schwartz found a wide open Sam Lair from the left wing, and Sam paid it off, made that one. Chop Simmons had 4 in the first half. 8 apiece for both Gannon Schwartz and Noah Walta, and leading the Vikings was Noah Gensler, as we mentioned several times, with 11 points in that first half. All of that leads up to a 14-point Viking lead, 36-22. We're back with the second half in about 4 minutes. Stay with us. step in here one last time during the halftime intermission. Just right on cue. I think maybe Coach Supernan knows that the live stream isn't super accessible, shall we say. He tweeted out an image at halftime. 34-14 lead for the Vikings at half. 34-14. So a 14-point lead here for the Viking boys team and the Viking girls basketball team with a 20-point halftime lead. See if we can get you a final score before we sign off here tonight, but the Vikings seem like they're in control over Seymour. Tomorrow, the Vikings head down for a tough non-conference matchup and one that is going to be, in my opinion, crucial for the seeding in a couple of weeks, and that's at Kewaskum. The boys play Omro. I won't be along for that one tomorrow here in Omro. Going to actually head down and take in that WLA Kewaskum game. Not that I don't want to be here, but I haven't figured out the science to split myself in half. So there you go. We'll still have the stream. I just won't be along for that. Going to go support the Lady Vikings. So what's the response from Oakfield, and how do the Vikings try to see this one out with the 36-22 lead? Currently the Vikings right about on track for what they average. They're on track for 72 tonight, and I believe it's like 71.9 is what they average or something like that. So right on track for what you would expect perhaps from the WLA offense. And doing a very nice job on the defensive side there. We mentioned the leading two scorers, Dirks and Bile, who have found it kind of a tough road here in that first half. Can they get something going in the second half to turn this around? It'll be Viking basketball coming, or check that, Oakfield basketball, sorry, coming out of the halftime locker room. And we're just about ready to roll here for half number 2. Let's unmute that crowd mic for you. We got to mute that during the breaks so that we don't get taken off of YouTube for copyright infringement, because that's what we're trying to do up here. Down the lane goes Moser. That's a nice cut, nice finish. Mitchell Moser's the first Oak into double figures. He's got 10. And took all of 20 seconds for the offense to look a little bit better than it did in the last 5 minutes of the first half. Here in the second, 3-ball Sam Lair, another one. Gannon Schwartz gets to the middle of the paint, kicks it out to Lair, left wing 3. You've heard it. You know the drill. Down to the corner, here's a 3 for Moser. He responds. Mitchell Moser with his third 3 of the night to cut it back down to 12. Back in for these, well, who said there was any trouble scoring in that first half? Not here in the first 2 possessions of the second half. Schwartz has it top of the key. Reverse crossover, gives it to Lair, down to the corner. Walta shot fake. Noah Walta crosses now, spins to the middle of the paint, kicks it out to Gensler. Gensler wants to drive, has it tipped away. Good hands by Luke Bile, stays with the Vikings. Underneath inbounds opportunity for WLA. And Coach Colleen couldn't believe it. I actually thought it might have been off of Gensler as well. That's tipped away from Moser. Check that. Moser tipped it away from Gannon Schwartz. Be the better way to say that. 16:50 to go in the game. And the lead for the Vikings is 12. Here's Gannon Schwartz. Drives the lane. Walta, corner 3. Missed off to the left. And Bile's going to collect here on the near side. Chop Simmons just mistimed that jumper. He would have had a beat on it. Didn't get anyone boxing him out that time. Far side Dirks bounces down underneath Meredith. Meredith turns, faces, finds Bile. Nice cross-court patch from Lucas Meredith. And Luke Bile's first point of the night comes here in the second half to cut it to a 10-point game. Gensler has it. High post. Poked away from behind. Guess who? Luke Bile. And somehow Noah Waltz is able to corral it for the Vikings. Gensler, corner, 3, on the way, missed it, long. And a good strong rebound from Mitchell Moser. Skied up for that one, did the sophomore. They don't have heights listed, but he's not one of the taller players on the floor. He misses that mid-range jumper. Offensive rebound, Dirks, and he'll go to the free throw line. Noah Gensler was straight up and down, but they'll say he brought it down and fouled Davis Dirks. So a 10-point lead could be back to single digits here if Dirks is able to hit from the free throw line. He's 1 for 2 there tonight. This one rattles around, hits every part of the rim a couple of times, and nestles in. So down to a 9-point game. Cole Wiedmeyer's into the game for the Vikings, and he will replace Gensler, who's not in foul trouble, just has the one personal foul, but an early substitution. A little bit out of character here to see that within the first 2 minutes of the second half. Gannon Schwartz gets down to the block. They wanted to travel. He held the pivot foot. Good no call. And here is Cole Wiedmeyer. Wiedmeyer poked away from behind, and it ends up with Simmons. Here goes Gannon Schwartz. Gannon, oh, that's a foul. He count the basket. Gannon Schwartz just got hit like a linebacker, like a wide receiver over the middle would get hit by a linebacker, and there was no whistle. And it's a 10-point Viking lead. My goodness, how do you miss that? Here's Bile, nice shot fake. And good job by Noah Walta to stay down. Tell you what, I would have fallen for that from Luke Bile. Near side Shep. Goes off a Bile screen. Now they got a size advantage underneath if they can get it to Luke Bile. But Shep's struggling to be able to get that entry pass in there. Nice job from Sam Lair. Dirks out near the halfway stripe. Goes off a screen. Up and under move. Comes up short. Some contact there. And saved, but straight to Chop Simmons from Shep. Schwartz into the front court. Crosses once, crosses twice, hiding behind Chop Simmons. Near side, Sam Lair wants another left wing three. He's got another left wing three. Stop it. How do you guard that? Sam's got 3 threes. 9 points on the night. Lead is up to 13. 44-31, 14-29 to play. Near side, this is Meredith. Hands off. Moser wants to respond again, and he does. Mitchell Moser with 4 threes. He's got 16 points tonight. He had 8 in the first half. He's already got 8 in the second. Here goes Walta. Gets caught in the corner. Kicks it out. 3 on the way. Comes up short from Gannon Schwartz. Offensive rebound and poked away from Cole Wiedmeyer. Stays with the Vikings as he was blocked underneath. Man, these are some high-quality possessions on both sides of the floor. Here's Chop Simmons flashing. Strong move from Chop, and there's a foul. It's probably one of the softer whistles we've seen here tonight, as they'll whistle Lucas Meredith on the foul. I believe that's his second. It is number 2 on Lucas Meredith. Chop, his first trip to the free throw line here tonight, and his first one rattles home. From the line tonight, the Vikings are 5 for 8 now. Make it 6 for 9. Chop goes 2 for 2. Simmons has 6. Viking lead back to a dozen. Back and forth we go. Here is Shep, guarded by Sam Lair. Some screen action away from the ball. Nice roll for Meredith. Bile found him, kicks it back out. Luke Bile, 3 on the way, he got it. Luke Biles got 5 second-half points, and it's a 9-point game. These Oaks don't go away. There is no quit from Oakfield. Gannon Schwartz just going to step into a 3. That one misses. Offensive rebound for Cole Wiedmeyer, and he's able to shovel it to Noah Walta. Walta finishes. Noah's got 10. He's the third Viking into double figures. Walta, Schwartz, and Gensler all in double figures here this evening. Shot fake from Moser. He's hit 4 threes tonight. Here's Bile down the lane. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound. Meredith can't finish the putback. And a rebound down to Sam Lair. Vikes lead by 11. Lair almost lost control of it. You got to be careful. These Oakfield Oaks get their hands in, and they do a nice job doubling down if you aren't paying attention with the ball. Here's a left wing 3. Got it. Noah Walta. His first 3 of the night. He's got 13 points. 5 straight for the Vikings, and the lead's back up to 14. Just like that, the Vikes push it back with a 5-0 run, all from Noah Walta. That 3 comes up short for Moser. Offensive rebound to Shep. Shovels it out to Bile. Bile uses a screen. That misses. Offensive rebound, Meredith. That's one of the few times you where Chop Simmons got caught without boxing out, and Meredith made him pay. Now can the Oaks pay it off here with the extra possession? Vikings switch. Here's Shep. And a nice mature decision to reverse dribble that out and calm things down. 3-ball missed from Dirks and a foul on the rebound for Luke Bile as he was judged to have pushed Sam Lair. Good block out from Sam. And Max Huntsman re-enters the game for the Vikings. He replaces Chop Simmons. So Huntsman and Wiedmeyer on for Simmons and Gensler. Early stages, second half. A lot of contact once again, no whistle. Coach Nell, or the student section, could not believe that was not a foul. Oh, and Noah Walta is on fire. Walta has 8 points in 3 possessions for the Vikings. He's got 16, and Coach Colleen wants a timeout. Vikings lead is at 17. That's their largest of the night, and it's 8 straight points for Noah Gensler. Or check that, Noah Walta, pardon me, on a personal 8-0 run for the Vikings. (54-37). It was just a 30-second timeout, so we're going to keep it right here. 11:43 to play. And that is the way you respond to some adversity. The Vikings had to respond. A couple of shots here that Oakfield took. They threw some proverbial punches here in the second half. And the Vikings able to respond, push this back out to a 17-point lead. Here's Shep, looks far side, caught by Meredith. Trying to get Bile free on the post, able to get it to him there. Kicks it out to Shep. Drives the paint, little step back, and I don't know if Sam Lair got a hand on it, but he certainly impacted it, and it came up short. Here's Gannon Schwartz. Gannon kicks it, corner, 3, on the way, looks good. Sam Lair is good, Sam Lair. Lair's hit 4 threes tonight. He's got a dozen, and the lead is 20 now for the Vikings, as it's an 11-0 run after Oakfield cut it to 9, back out here to 20. Largest lead of the night for the Vikings. Dirks was standing out of bounds right in front of the referee. Ref missed it. Down the lane goes Dirks. What a pretty move, Davis Dirks. Dirks has 7. That was a gorgeous move by the sophomore, finishing at the rim on the reverse layup. Gannon Schwartz to the middle of the paint, kicks it out to Wiedmeyer. Jab step there. He goes down the paint, up with a floater and finish. Cole Wiedmeyer's first points of the night, and it's back out to 20-point lead. 59-39, 10:35 to go. Shep looks down to Bile, guarded by Walta. Bile drives on Walta, spins once, spins again, kicks it out. Meredith, that's kind of been his spot tonight. Can't get that one to go. And the strong rebound with Walta. Looks up ahead to Wiedmeyer. Cole wants to drive it. Now cross-court pass to Max Huntsman, and it is blocked underneath as Meredith was able to erase that shot from Max Huntsman. And the Vikes will have an underneath inbounds play as Noah Walta takes his seat in exchange for Andy Simon. Simon cuts through. Nice block underneath by Dirks. Bile's got it. Out in transition. Bile finishes. Oh, just rolled around. How did that not go down? Looked like it was going to roll down for Bile, and it did not. Rebound in transition come the Vikings in. Andy Simon's got his second bucket of the night, his first of the second half. He's got 4 points, and the Viking lead is 22. So 9:49 to play. Moser around a couple of screens, all the way to the hoop, blocked by Gannon Schwartz, but Moser stays with it. Good effort there from Mitchell Moser. He's up to 18. Leading all scorers tonight, at least by my count. I'll have to confirm that. Max Huntsman trying to tap out an offensive rebound. Viking lead is 20, and Moser will trot into the front court. That time Gannon Schwartz not quite able to finish at the rim. Left it up there high. We got that high arcing floater in the paint, and it's deadly. Here's Bass on a shot. That misses. Shep's able to stay in bounds. He's fouled, and he'll go to the free throw line. Offensive rebound, good hustle by Bailey Shep. who has been stuck on 5 points for quite a while now. He's going to have a chance to remedy that from the free throw line. Rebound for the foul, pardon me, on the Vikings, was on Cole Wiedemeyer. That's his team second here in this second half. And the first free throw is good for Bailey Shep. Kale Sobel back in. His first action here in the second half for the Oaks. And Gensler will come in for Sam Lair for the Vikes. Can't hold a good shooter down. That's what the Oaks are finding out here tonight. 2 for 2 from the line for Shep, and he's up to 7 points. Viking lead is 18. Down the lane goes Gannon Schwartz. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound on the near side, and Huntsman can't finish. And Andy Simon couldn't save the ball. Another good take from Gannon, able to get to the rim, unable to finish. Teams try to be physical. Teams try to push Gannon Schwartz around. He's only 5'9", and a little slender. But I'll tell you what, he just keeps coming at you. Here's Sobel. Kale Sobel's first points of the night. He curled through a screen and finished, did the senior. I'll tell you what, Gannon Schwartz does not back down. Here goes Gannon Schwartz again to the hoop, and he's fouled that time. A blocking foul on Shep, his second, team's third. Viking lead is 16, and Schwartz to the line where he is 2 for 3 tonight. First free throw for Gannon rattles around and out. So far this season has shot much better than the 50% that he is tonight. Second free throw for Schwartz is good. Excuse me, needed a little water there. 62-45 lead for the Vikings with 8 minutes and 12 seconds left to play. Down the lane goes Dirks, and the Vikings were straight up is what the referee said. Down the lane goes Andy Simon, stolen away from Dirks. Good hustle by him. He's being chased down by Noah Gensler, and Gensler picks up a foul. Good hustle by Noah Gensler. He thought he got the ball, but he got a little bit of the arm there of Dirks as well. Second foul on Noah Gensler. 7:59 to play. Third team foul for the Vikings in this second half. Neither team got to the bonus in the first half. We are on pace for neither team to get to the bonus in this frame either. That is Sobel. Looks inside to Bile. Bile spins once, spins again, and he's fouled by Max Huntsman. So Luke Bile will go to the free throw line. His first trip to the line tonight. As a team, Oakfield doing a very nice job. They're 5 for 6. And Bile keeps that going, making the front end of this one. And Lucas Meredith will come back in. Not the biggest crowd you'll ever see at a high school sporting event, but I'm sure there's a good contingency of Vikings up at Seymour. Bile misses the second, and Andy Simon, man, he wants to run down the lane. Oh, you got to call that a foul. You have to call that a foul. Sobel fell over under the hoop. That is a very dangerous play. They got an offensive foul here on Bile, I do believe. Nope, just a travel on Bile. Now, if you've ever tuned into one of my broadcasts, you will know I feel very passionately that there should be a restricted circle in high school basketball. And I know all of the training and it costs money to paint the floor. I don't know. But when Sobel there made no contact with Andy Simon, and that is no good. And I'm not saying this is a dirty play. I'm not saying that at all. I don't want that to come off here either. Here's a three for Noah Gensler, and it misses, and it's going to go out of bounds. But when a player is laying below the hoop and you go in as an offensive player, the opportunity for you to land on someone and turn over an ankle or destabilize the knee or whatever it may be is astronomically greater if there is someone laying underneath the hoop, especially in an instance there where there was no contact. You got to blow the whistle, in my opinion. And again, that would just be easier if you just had the restricted circle, and it wouldn't be a judgment call for officials to have to make. But it's a very, very dangerous play for both guys. I mean, the guy laying on the ground is going to get landed on as well, so you don't want that to happen either. I just think from a player safety standpoint, perhaps it would be a good addition. Here is Mitchell Moser, who is having himself a night. He's got 20. By the way, I don't think the WIAA is ever going to ask me for my opinions on high school basketball rules, and that's probably a good thing. Here's Noah Gensler underneath. Good feed from Simmons, and Gensler can't finish. And just creeping their way back into the game is the Oakfield Oaks. It was a 20-point lead a couple minutes ago. It's down to 14 at the moment. Check that, down to 12. Lucas Meredith, his first bucket of the second half on a terrific find from Moser, who's having a very nice all-around game. The sophomore for the Oaks. 3-ball on the way for Sam Lair comes up short. And the Vikings are slumping offensively. Everything was pouring in here at the start of the second half. Now finding offense a little tougher to come by. And they got to lock things down defensively now. Sobel's on the far side, down to Meredith. Top of the key, Bile, working on Noah Walta. Crosses into the middle of the paint. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound, Meredith. Contact underneath, and it ends up with Noah Gensler. Gensler to the paint. Kicks it out. Sam Lair, shot fake there. He has it poked away from behind, and a kick will keep it with the Vikings. I'll tell you what, I have not seen a team as good as Oakfield is, who, after you get by them, they poke the ball away from behind, and it's always clean. Or at least tonight it has been, for sure. A couple of Vikings flash to the near post. Got to get it in. And a timeout for Coach Nell as the 5-second counter was imminent. And got a 30-second timeout here. I believe we do. 30-second timeout for the Vikings on the floor, as they did not want to give away possession there. You never do, but, I mean, it seems like it's a part of the game right now where the Vikings got to get something going here offensively on this possession, as they have seen a 20-point lead dwindle down to just 12. Still well in control, but it certainly does not feel that way when you start to take into account the momentum of this second half and how after a couple of timeouts, Coach Colleen was able to get a message through to his players, and they've turned this around. Gensler's just going to float up top of the key. They're going to get it back to Sam Lair. And a nice job to fight through a screen there from Shep and run Sam Lair off the three-point line. Gannon Schwartz guarded by Mitchell Moser, as has been the case all night. Moser's done a good job on him. Just put him off a couple of times, but Schwartz still able to get 11 points thus far, and he's fouled here by Moser. They said he got both hands on. You can hand check with one, not with two, and that's what they called Moser for there. Vikings going to try to run in another underneath inbound set, get it to Walta in the corner. Walta drives middle of the paint, floater up, can't get it to go, tipped around, and secured by Dirks. Good defensive rebound from Dirks. I've been impressed with Davis Dirks. You know, just a sophomore. Sometimes when you aren't getting your points, Shep missed that three. Fading away was Shep, and it's tipped out by Meredith, as Chop did a nice job blocking out. Oakfield's fans couldn't believe it, but I think he either had to call that WLA basketball or a foul, because it went through the back of Chop Simmons. Here's Gannon Schwartz, but getting back to Dirks, you know, a lot of times he'll start to force things, and Dirks has not. He has not let his ball handling take a hit. He has not let his defense take a hit. His hustle has been tremendous here tonight, and Gannon Schwartz is fouled by Lucas Meredith. So Gannon will go to the free throw line. At least I would expect that to be the case. Third foul on Meredith, so both Moser and Meredith have three for the Oaks. Just 4:19 to go, so I really don't consider that to be much foul trouble. First free throw for Gannon Schwartz. That's a confident stroke from Gannon, and it's good. He's 4 for 6 from the free throw line. And a second is upcoming. Couple of rhythm dribbles, a spin on the hand, and a hit for Gannon Schwartz, who is now 5 for 7 from the free throw line. He has 13 points, and the Vikings lead is back up to 14 with 4 minutes and 10 seconds to play. Here goes Dirks. Down the lane, under control, kicks it out to Shep. Shep guarded by Sam Lair. And going to use a Meredith screen. Vikings go under it, and Shep makes them pay. Shep hits the 3. He had 5 in the first half. He's got 5 in the second half. Out to 10 points for Bailey Shep, and the lead for the Vikings is just 11. Down the lane goes Gensler, bumped there. Down to Simmons, kicks it out to Walta. Top of the key, and Gannon Schwartz is going to slow things down again. Just be patient. Make these possessions take some time, and it's going to get to a point where the Oaks have to expand their defense and possibly foul. Down to the corner, Walta crosses over, has a lane to the hoop. He is hacked, and he'll go to the free throw line. Hammered there by Dirks, I do believe. See who they get this on. Probably could have gotten Dirks or Meredith. They're going to call it on Meredith, and that's a big deal because that's his 4th. That is foul trouble, even with 3:21 to play. I wouldn't expect him to come out of the game. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. And Noah Walta hits the front end here. Second free throw for Walta is good as well. And the Viking lead back out to 13. And Coach Colleen going to take a timeout with 3 minutes and 17 seconds left to play. I think all he's got left is full. So we're going to take it with him and come back with more. Final 3 minutes and 17 seconds is on the way. Hope you'll stay with us. Coming out of this timeout, talking to a couple of the guys last week, talking to Sam Lair, talking to Noah Walta. They use different phrases, but it was something along the lines of like, this is a gut check week, man. This is a defining week. This can be a defining week in our season, either one way or the other. And knew Oakfield was going to be a tough out here at home. Tomorrow is a very good Omro team. Friday is a Laconia team that you lost to by 30-plus points earlier in the season, and you certainly want to show that you've righted the ship since then. Here is Moser. Can't get it to go. Tipped out by Chop Simmons to check that to Schwartz. Excuse me. Sorry about that. And tipped around. Offensive rebound is secured by Noah Walta, and he's fouled. 7th team foul. Walta will go to the free throw line for a bonus 1-and-1. Noah has 18 points to lead the Vikings. 18 for Walta. Front end of this one is good. After missing his first 2, he's made his next 5. Gannon Schwartz, so Walta now with 19. Schwartz with 13, 12 for Sam Lair, 11 for Noah Gensler. Gensler has not scored in the second half, but the Vikings have still been able to build out this lead that at halftime was 14, and now it's 15. some building there, huh? Here is Meredith. Just inside the three-point line. Oh, it cozies its way in. Lucas Meredith is the second Oak into double figures. He's got 10. 13-point lead for the Vikings. By the way, Noah Walta was over the 20-point mark with that last trip to the free throw line. He is 6 for 8. 2 minutes and 29 seconds left to play. Vikes lead it by 13. Schwartz goes around Moser. High post to Chop Simmons. Simmons does a nice job to be calm at the high post, get the elbows out, triple threat positioning, and got itself out of trouble. Here is Sam Lair dribbling it between the legs. One-handed pass to Chop Simmons, who finishes. Chop's got 8. And good positioning from Chop and a great find from Sam Lair. 70-55, Viking lead is pushed back to 15. Good job by Walta not to foul, but Moser's unconscious here tonight. He's got 23. Leads all scorers with that 23. Does Mitchell Moser. And Gannon Schwartz will go to the free throw line as Davis Dirks, picks up the foul. And that is just the 8th team foul, so 1 and 1. Gannon is 5 for 7, as previously mentioned, from the free throw line. Got to earn the second one here with a 12-point lead. And he does. First free throw is good. He's hit 4 straight from the free throw line. 8 free throws for Walta, 8 for Schwartz, 2 for Chop Simmons. Vikings, this will be their 19th free throw of this first half. And it's good for Gannon Schwartz, who's up to 15 points. An impressive second half here from Gannon after 8 in the first half, up to 15 here on the night. Driving lane and fouled, count the basket, and 1. Good take by Dirks, and he was fouled by Noah Walta. Walta can't believe it. He thought he was retreating and had his hands straight up, but the contact was there, and Dirks finished through it. So just like that, Dirks is up to 9 points, can get himself into double figures, which is right around his season average if this goes in, with a $129 to play. And it does, so he's 4 for 5 from the free throw line tonight. Logan Puck into the game for the Vikings, by the way. Sam Lair will trigger it in and get it to Noah Gensler. 11-point lead for the Vikings. Gensler's into the front court, over to Sam Lair. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the game. Lair with the dribble to Gensler. Closely guarded count starts. That was tipped straight to Noah Walta, but the Vikes got to be careful here. They're going to double Sam Lair, and he shovels it out to Gannon Schwartz. Far side, Noah Gensler has it poked away. Yeah, there's a lot of contact there, and that's not the ref that should have to call that, as Gensler almost took an uppercut to the face as Dirks was just trying to jar the ball loose and got a little bit of the arm of Noah Gensler. 9th team foul. That is they called that on Shep, excuse me. And Gensler misses the free throw, so a good foul there. But they did waste about 20 or 30 seconds before fouling. Oh, and Dirks banks one in. So Dirks is just like that up to 13 points. And Sam Lair's having some trouble getting the ball inbounded. And the Vikings should hope that that timeout was granted before the ball got inbounded, because so they're going to say that was before the ball got inbounded. Apologies that I haven't had the crowd mic up. I always err on the side of caution, and I forgot to flip it on after the last timeout. Don't want the game to get taken down from YouTube. But that is important. It's an 8-point game currently after that gets banked in from Dirks. As I mentioned, he's up to 13 points tonight, second leading scorer for the Oaks, behind the 23 of Mitchell Moser. But if they would have said that was after the ball was inbounded, it would have been deep in that corner, and it would have been a tricky place to try to inbound for the Vikings. So instead, chance for them with a little bit more space to inbound that. All right, 72-64. Mentioned before the game who would win the battle of the playing styles. And by the way, I'm not saying Oakfield's trying to play. They're only trying to score 52 points. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the Vikes like to get up and down. They want to run with you. They want to get more possessions. Dirks fouls Noah Walta in the backcourt. And it's double bonus, so Noah will get the 2 free throws. He's made his last 6 of them. And these will be free throws 9 and 10 for Walta on the night. He shoots it around an 80% clip, does Noah Walta. First free throw is pure. Viking lead is 9. Chance to extend it back to double digits. Kind of a case where they held on here in the second half, almost like that Lemire game. Now, they were up by 17, and that game was tied late in that Lemire game. So not quite that type of let up, but certainly had some troubles here on the defensive side holding Oakfield down. Moser's got 25. Sam Lair's into the front court now. I'd foul anyone not named Gannon Schwartz or Noah Walta at this point. And Gensler just missed one, and they'll pick up the foul there at half court. Bile picks it up. And Gensler will go to the free throw line. Is that 4 on Bile? I was marking those on the wrong one. That's just 2 on Luke Bile. Sorry, excuse me. First free throw for Noah Gensler is no good. Gensler shoots it at like a 68% clip, right around 70 all season, has Noah Gensler, but probably going to see that go down a few points. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Oh, how did that not go down? Missed it. And it's just an 8-point lead for the Vikings. Got to throw it up pretty quickly. Transition. Here's Shep. 3 on the way. Good for Shep. Well, I'll tell you what. It's down to 5. The Vikings are still in very, very good position. Very good shape with just 5 seconds left. But this will be a case of the Vikings surviving. I don't know, and I can pull up my notes here and see what some of the percentages are for this Oakfield roster from 3. Bile 33%, Shep 38%, Moser 40%. So these are some good three-point shooting players. Don't shoot a ton of them. But my goodness, they've hit 10 threes tonight. And thankfully for the Vikes, if you're a Viking fan or looking from that perspective, the Vikes hit 9 of them to kind of counteract that. But, man, Oakfield is pouring in the threes here in the second half. They've hit 7 in this half alone. The Vikings have hit 5 in this half. 74-69. If the Vikes make their free throws, they are home clear. If they don't take care of the basketball, this could get a little fuzzy. Schwartz breaks to the corner. Lair breaks to the corner. He's fouled there. And the foul is on Shep, and I believe that will do it for Bailey Shep this evening. Get confirmation of that in just a second. Yep, number 5 on Bailey Shep. He'll take a seat as Cale Sobel comes into the game. And Sam Lair goes to the free throw line. Sam has not been there tonight. Another one of the Vikings that shoots right around 70s, just short of 70%, 67 or so on the season, and he misses the front end. And I think Coach Colleen just confirming that he had no timeouts left. I'm not positive about that. I keep track of a lot of things up here, and timeouts is not one of them. Sam Lair missed the second, and it doesn't matter. Offensive rebound secured from Noah Gensler, and it's a back-to-back 5-point wins for the Vikings. 74-69, and that is back-to-back games against Lemire. The Vikings had a 17-point lead, won by 5 tonight. They had a 20-point lead in the second half, and again, just won by 5. So, hey, you gotta win. Win is a win is a win, and you don't apologize for winning. Those are that is my rule. You don't apologize for that. You don't ask questions, and you don't get into the details. You won the ball game. That's what you set out to do. You can worry about performance at practice tomorrow, maybe. Let's get you some final numbers here tonight. Starting for Oakfield, 2 points for Cale Sobel, 6 points for Luke Bile, 10 points for Lucas Meredith. Let's see here, 13 for Davis Dirks, and Mitchell Moser was the leading scorer. Actually, the leading scorer for all players tonight, finished with 25 for the Oaks. He was lights out tonight, shoots at 40% from 3, and he was all of that and more here this evening. He hit 5 threes tonight. For the Vikings, Cole Wiedmeyer had 2. Andy Simon had 4. Chop Simmons had 8. 11, 11, for Noah Gensler. He had them all in the first half. Sam Lear had 12. Gannon Schwartz finished with 15. And Noah Walta was a team-high 20-point scorer tonight for the Vikings. And a lot of that coming in the second half. He had 12 points there in that second half. Check that, 22 points for Noah Walta. And he went 8 for 10 from the free throw line. A nice job from Noah and Gannon, both from the charity stripe. So the Vikings leading 2 scorers, well below season averages, but the Vikes able to, well, at the end, scrape out a 5-point win, 74-69 win, non-conference over a very talented Oakfield Oaks team. That drops Oakfield to 11-4 on the season. For the Vikings, they get another win and are now 6-9, inching closer towards that 500 mark. Big test tomorrow as Amro comes in. The Vikings lost to Amro the first time around, and they lost to Laconia the first time around. Tomorrow night and Friday night, a couple of chances for the Vikings to exact some revenge from early on in the season and really turn around a couple of results that they would have liked to have had back. So, all of that the rest of the week. On Thursday, we will have wrestling against Laconia. Tomorrow and Thursday, I will not be along on the live stream, but hope you'll still tune in and see if the Vikings can't keep going what was a very good start to the week here tonight with the 74-69 win over Oakfield. Jordan King saying so long. Thanks for tuning in. Behind 22 points from Noah Walton, overcoming a 25-point outburst from Mitchell Moser. The Vikings get the non-con win. Have a good night. We will talk to you on Friday.